welcome. Thank you very much for coming in, Pavlos, and sharing
Nice to
some
be here.
time with us. Just thought to come and share your story and listen to some of your life, how it unfolded for you and how it all started in Greece. And if you want to introduce yourself.
Yeah, my name is Pavlos. I'm an addict. I'm 55 years old. I'm born in Athens, 1968. Good family. I have one brother. He's not an addict. He don't have problem with addiction. No problems in my family until I grow up. Very nice. My family, good people, working class people. Go to school. I was very intelligent in school. I'm saying that because in Greece you go to school 6 year old, yeah, and every year if you are good in not just in the studies good but in behavior as well, they give you to carry the flag
Oh, wow.
of the country. In the celebrations,
Wow.
like the Memorial Day here in England.
To represent the school.
Yeah, you represent the school, so they give that to the best student.
Yeah.
So I was in all 6 years the flag carrier. So that's me. I was probably quite intelligent, and good, and no problems there, what I mean, and everything, and I was very good also in sports. Very good in sports. I was when I was 12, I played basketball for the national Greek team.
Wow.
I was collected for the national Greek team. Actually, I didn't play any game, but I played some exercise games, like a Christmas tournament.
Yeah.
But I was participating in a national Greek team. That I was a good sports. I love basketball. I think it was my first addiction, basketball.
Yeah.
I took one ball, basketball, and I go to the mountains and I continue play there. Everybody gone. I used to
You just
continue.
keep shooting hoops.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was make me feel good. It was a way to change. I feel, make me feel good. Basketball, and when I was about 12, 13 years old, I think, about this age, I felt little bit like awkward. So I could say, say for example, if you put me in one stadium with 100,000 people, I was feeling alone.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean. I was
You
feeling
felt
like
different somehow.
yeah, like special and different or something like that. And I was I always wanted to feel accepted. I was
Doesn't everybody?
yeah. I and I remember even in the basketball, I wanted to show off that I'm good. You know what I mean, and to see me that I'm good. And if it was people watching, I was very good.
Yeah.
So always the acceptance of others. It was more important for my own. I suppose I didn't have my own acceptance. So to get acceptance from others, it was
Important
needed. I was needed for that. Yeah, it was important. And I'll say one example. Yeah, that it have to do with addiction. I was a basketball player. I never smoked. So one day, one of the girls in the school, quite popular one, it happened to go out. I asked her out. She said yes. So we go to a discotheque. It was 1981, and I remember everything was going fine, and she offered me a cigarette. Just a cigarette.
Yeah.
And I remember when she offered me the cigarette, inside me, I felt fear. I said to myself, "Oh no, if I don't pick up the cigarette, what's she gonna think about me?"
Yeah.
Yeah. The reality is I didn't need it. I never smoked in my life. And I was an athlete. I didn't need it and I didn't want it. But her opinion, it was more important for me.
Wow.
So I thought, okay, give me the cigarette. Just to, to don't look like silly that I don't have the cigarette, So I think this is part of addiction. Low self-esteem, I will say. I know now. So I pick up this cigarette. I didn't know I was an addict. I didn't know that with this cigarette I put in my mouth. Next day I put another one, and in a week later I buy a packet, and I smoke for the rest of my life 3-4 packets a day.
Wow.
But everything starts from the need to accept, to be accepted. You know what I mean? So pretty much for the same reason I started using drugs.
Wow.
Starting with pills. Some friends bring some pills one day. They say, this is pills, and...
So still as a teenager?
Yeah, as a teenager.
Wow.
We're talking now 13, 14 year old. I still play basketball. I still go to school. But it was back now in 1981. Some joints going around the school in the parties, and stuff like that. We was going to parties back there. We was drinking vermouth.
Oh yeah.
and martini.
Wow.
And I get drunk sometimes in this. I get drunk and I do silly things. But this doesn't stop me of getting drunk again and doing silly things again. You know what I mean? Embarrass things. You know, when you are a teenager and stuff like that, cry about a girl or whatever. And I remember I was in love with a girl. I thought I was. That was part of my addiction too.
Yeah.
You know, I was fantasizing about her, and she didn't even know my name. You know, she knew my name, but she didn't have idea how I feel about her. I never told her. Yeah, this is how it started. You know, other friends of mine, you know, they come and we used together. I think we used to have a gang, and we was going to the mountains, and we discovered gasoline. Gasoline. Not gasoline you put in the cars. You know, it's a clean gasoline.
Yeah.
That you clean your clothing or everything.
Like
It's
thinners.
a pure benzina, they call it in Greece. That is gasolina. And I remember back then it was the song of David Bowie, Cat People. You remember the song?
Yeah.
With gasoline. And it was my favorite record. I buy this record.
Jeez.
And I have this gasoline. I was sniffing like that.
Wow.
And another was going to the mountains. It was a very dangerous thing because we were sniffing this gasoline, and this kind of curing death as well.
Yeah.
Because you know, you smoke a lot. At the beginning, you feel dizzy, you like it, but after you lose your conscious, you can develop brain damage.
Jeez.
We used to do that. You know,
Because it was cheap, I guess.
It was cheap, and it was a joy for us. Suppose,
And everyone
you know?
was doing it.
Yeah, everyone was doing it. We go there, we buy this thing, and this it was, you know, was doing that. And and you know, in Greece back then, it was easy to go, even if you were 13-year-old, 14-year-old, and you look a little bit like 16, 17, because I was a big boy as well. Maybe 13, 14, but I was playing basketball, I was looking like 16, 17.
Yeah.
And to even order a beer
Wow.
in a place, you know. So I was having beers, Amstel, or, you know, and things, wine, a lot of wine. That was cheap. We can buy wine from the shop, suppose, for our father. So I love that. I love the chemicals, you know, all that situations. And pretty soon, you know, I start also starting one behavior very rebel against my family without any reason. You know, I just didn't like them anymore.
Do you think that was because of the substances you were using? Or was it the teenage years?
Probably it was the combination.
Yeah.
It was the teenage years as well. But also now I know today that it was my alcoholism and my addiction, character defects, very alive at the time. And it was difficult to find understanding of others, particular of the family and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So this put me in a lonely place. And my reaction, it was to act crazy out, you know, and the need of acceptance, all that, you know, all that together, combination.
Becomes more important than your family life.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it was more important to enjoy myself, you know, I mean, whatever way possible. So I found sex with real women.
Wow.
That I love it very much.
As a young man.
As a young man, that I love it very much.
Yeah.
And I do a lot of that. I do a lot of drinking. I leave the school. I left the school. I was not interested in school anymore. I left the basket slowly as well. I had a big accident in my knee, and that as well, you know, I left the basket there. I couldn't come back of that. And I think this have to do with my alcoholism, because if I was a healthy boy without the disease of alcoholism, I probably get over it. But I go very self-pity when it happened, and, you know, because I was, like I told you, I was collected for the national league team. I broke my leg. I have to walk 6 months after that, and after I have to walk with stitches, and after I didn't have the guts to come back on that to play professional again. So I left it, and I was very talented, yeah. And you know, they say in life the most bad thing to happen in life is waste of talent. And I had a good talent in basketball, but it doesn't matter now. So in this age, 15, 16-year-old, I started problems with the law as well, because I was like a rebel outside of my house, living in the streets, without anybody kick me out. It was my choice to do that. You know, I wanted to be a rebel without a reason. And I get with other boys together, and we be hooligans. It was 80s. Suppose we go to the football matches and.
Were you a football supporter?
I'm a football supporter.
Which team in Greece?
AEK Athens.
Athens.
AEK Athens.
Yeah.
AEK Athens is my team. I love this team very much. They come here to Brighton as well. They beat Brighton as well.
Did they?
Yeah, they did.
Wow, that's
and I go to the
recently.
hotel and they give me all autograph. I make a photograph of them and they give me the shirt of a team. Yeah, it's amazing.
Cool.
Anyway, back in the 80s, it's not about the football team. It is. We was watching football about the football team, but we was like something like hooligans.
Yeah.
So we was hooligans
was a
for the
family.
sake. It was for the sake as well, again, to be accepted. Because I was feeling fear inside me, and I didn't want you to know I feel fear. I was putting faces, masks. That I was pretending somebody that I was not really. I was a good boy. I was from good family. I didn't need it to be violent to somebody or anything like that. But in order to don't find out, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
I had to show you that I'm violent. Yeah. So I became hooligan with other boys, and we get arrested because we do hooligan things. Fight with other gangs and things like that. We get arrested for hooligans. My father, he wanted to kill me because my father was an honest man, good man. He didn't want a problem with the police. This was big at the time that they arrested us because we was underage. We was 15, 14, something like that. We'd be in the papers.
Oh, no.
Yeah. And for my father, it was a big shock. And me, I remember when that happened, instead of saying, oh my God, what I become, I'm humiliate my parents and I'll be a good boy now, the opposite. I thought to myself, now I really make it. I'm famous now.
Yeah.
Notorious.
Notorious.
Yeah. So all that is part of addiction, of the need to feel, special and different.
Big egos, small self-esteem.
Yeah. All that. Yeah. So I remember that. I say, now they're going to fear of me. Now they're going to know, it's Notorious, it's Pavlos, Hooligan. And it passed my teenage years like that. When I go 18, in Greece, you have to go to the army. Yeah. It's a must. It's you have to do it. If you don't go, you go to prison.
Well, okay.
Yeah, so you don't have a choice.
National service.
National service. Yeah. Or if you are not capable of going, you go through doctors and psychologists, and if you are a drug addict or whatever, they let you go, but your papers is rubbish.
Yeah.
You cannot make a job. You cannot. No. And I remember my mother. She used to say to me, "If you don't go to the army, it's gonna be the last humiliation thing you're gonna do for us." You know what I mean? Because already I have make them feel shame of me because I left the school and And if I don't go to the army, it was a very shameful thing for my mom in particular. So I thought to myself, I'll go for the sake of her. It doesn't matter. And I did. But at the time I was 18 and I was full-blown alcoholic. Wow. I was drinking a bottle of South Comfort a day.
Jeez.
Every morning.
Wow.
And a bottle of gin. Every morning. And whatever else in the day. I forgot to say that in 16-year-old I developed a dependency in codeine. Mm-hmm. They were selling some codeine linctus that was syrup for the cough. Yeah. But this, in purpose, they were selling it. It was not allowed to sell it, but they did selling it to the teenage kids like me.
It's called lean now, isn't it?
Yes, a codeine linctus they called. And I was having a lot of them, so I developed a strong dependency to codeine. Wow. And because I was, 16, 17, and like I told you, I was looking bigger because my size and all that. I used to hang around with bigger boys. Some of them drug addicts, serious ones. And me, I was putting my nose here and there in dusts, like heroin or cocaine. But I didn't regard myself as a drug addict because I was not injecting. I was not stealing anybody. I was not, I was just using, but I had the control. Yeah, I knew what I was doing, but I was full-blown alcoholic though. So I go to the army. The army is a discipline thing, and you need to do as you're told.
Yeah, they say jump, you jump.
Yes. To cut a long story short, because we don't have all day here, in the army you do 2 years and you go. If you are a little bit naughty, depends how naughty you are, you do longer. This is the punishment. Say, for example, you do something wrong, they say to you 10 days. This 10 days means that when it finishes your 2 years, you stay 10 days longer.
Yeah.
I stay 350 days longer. That is nearly a year.
Wow.
And I go 2 years and a half in army prison as well.
On top.
On top of that. The reason I go there is not because I was a gangster or anything like that. The first time I go to prison, I go to see a game, Atletico Bilbao, AEK Athens, Atletico Bilbao. It was UEFA Cup.
Yeah.
And I was drunk. I was in the army. I belonged to the army, and I go and I had to consume a lot of wine, and I was drunk. And I have my nephew with me, and we go to see the game, and I fight with the police. I had an argument with the police, and anyway, it become after verbal become muscular as well. So they arrest me, they put me in army prison because when you are a soldier, they cannot put you in proper prison. They put you in army prison,
which is probably worse.
It's not. It's not. No. Worst is the other prison. The army prison, you are a soldier, is different. You know, the other prison is worst. It's different kind of criminals there. And anyway, they put me in the army prison. I stayed 3 months. And when I go out of there, I thought to myself, oh my God, I'm not going to come back there again. You know what I mean? Poor guys. Again, special and different. I'm not like them.
Yeah.
Pretty soon I was back there. Because of army problems, rebellion problems. I had I get drunk, and I had arguments with superiors, fights sometimes. All that result to go to prison. And I spent 2.5 years in prison.
Wow. Yeah.
Now, Marcus, what happened there, in prison, one day, I give some money to an inmate to bring me some heroin. He gave me a little bit. I said to myself, what is this? He said, this is what they give here. Me, I used to, when I was outside for my friends, put in my nose and having a lot of lines of heroin or cocaine, you know. I never pay for that. So I thought, what is this? What can I do with that? They said to me, we can eject it. So it was a split of a second. It lasts all my boundaries. And I say, yes, let's eject it then. So I didn't even thought about it. I did eject it this day. And from this day on, I never sniff heroin again or cocaine. I always put it in the spoon. Yeah, it was my new drug of choice. It was so high, the feeling I get from that I'm not gonna waste for any other way, to do it any other way. When I go out of this prison, because of my alcoholism, I do a big damage to myself. The day I go out of prison, some friends of mine. In prison, my mother and my father and my brother, they support me, and they was giving me money and clothing and everything, and all was looking fine. And the day I go out, some good friends of mine that they own a pub, the big pub in my neighbor, that is outskirts of Athens. Imagine now in Brighton, the biggest pub, for example. They come to take me from prison to celebrate my outing, you know, of prison, yeah?
Jeez.
But already, when they took me out, I had consumed 2 Johnny Walker bottles and pills.
Before you'd left?
Before I left. And raw hypnol and things like that. So when we go out, I continue drinking in my house and stuff like that. And I ended up in the night in the pub. And the next morning, I wake up in the hospital with my mother by my side, with all my right hand cutted. Look.
Gosh. Wow.
All of that. And I didn't remember what happened. I said, what happened? And my brother came. And he said to me, out of the blue, you just smash all the pub.
Wow.
Yeah? This is the result of alcoholism.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
I didn't have a clue about that.
Just had a blackout.
Blackout. But, you know, it was overwhelming, the shame I felt this morning and the pain I felt. I saw my hand. I never play basket again. Because I cannot play, still my hand is disabled. I thought to myself, what you done, you know. I felt really, really disappointed.
Did you feel like your life was out of control or unmanageable?
Yeah, I felt I wanted to die, you know, because I felt the shame, it was overwhelmed, because I thought to myself, you become a clone again to all the city to see.
An embarrassment.
Yes, you become an embarrassment. How you manage to do that again? And I never get over this. You know, when all that finishes and I go out of the hospital and everything, this shame, put me more and more isolated. Yeah. So I didn't want to go to the pubs anymore. I didn't want to hang around. Socialize. I just wanted to go to buy my drinks, buy my drugs, and go in my home and use. So I started becoming like a ghost. And I started living very underground.
Which is how this addiction really works. It wants you by
yes.
yourself,
I start
right?
hang around in places, like Soho here, for example, and stuff like that in Athens, and hang around in Athens all day and all night. I had some friends from the prison as well that there was thieves. I was never a thief, but I became one. And I had a good thief friend of mine, and we used to steal cars and steal things and sell it and start using like that. And so I became a drug addict. Everything, just everything,
your
every
habit.
money I have in my hands, I buy heroin
Yeah.
and drink. And I was living like that for a year. And a friend of mine at the time, he offered me drugs. He say, okay, instead of stealing and doing things like that, why you don't go to this guy? That this guy he always have drugs and get some drugs credit, so you can give and give to somebody and you have your own for your own. Yeah.
Okay.
So I start doing that. So I become a drug dealer without have the foundation of B1. I use more than I was giving away. So you know what I mean? I was always without money and without drugs.
And owing money.
And owing money.
Yeah.
And anyway, I get arrested. And thanks God I get arrested. I'm saying that today because prison saved my life. Because get arrested at the age of 20, I was now 23, get arrested, and I spent in prison 3 years and a half. Because they charged me for selling drugs and things. This was big. My father wanted to kill me now because for him, he didn't understand about addiction. For him, I was a drug dealer.
Yeah.
And this prison, all my friends, the addict friends that grow up together, they are all dead. They die all. I survived because I was many years in prison. I was these 3 years and a half because of the army. And after another 3 years and a half, 2 years and a half because of the army, 3 years and a half, it was about 6 years altogether. And when I go out of this prison, in a month time, I stole one bag of one woman with a bike. That is this is in Greece, they charge you as a robbery. You can end up with 10 years because of that.
Wow.
And I'll tell you something good that I think it can help people. I remember when they arrested me there, because they arrested me at the spot. I go to the judge, in front of the judge, and I was crying. And I was saying to him, sir, please don't put me in prison. I'll just go out of 6 years. I was out 8 months in the 6 years. Please don't do that. Don't put me in prison again. And he said to me, listen, man, I feel sorry about you. You are an addict. You are a young man, and you need help. But unfortunately, me here, I'm not paid to help you. I'm paid to help the society of people like you. Because at the time you steal the bag of the woman, if the woman fell down and broke her head and die, what we can do? Tell me what we're going to do. And he was absolutely right. And I felt it, and I said to her, thank you, sir, you're right, and you're right. And I just go to prison knowing then that is right. I'm not unfair. It's not unfair anymore. I was grown up man now, and I knew I'm a drug addict and I knew I had a problem. But I didn't want to do anything about it. I didn't have the guts to do anything about it.
Did you know there was help available?
No, but I didn't care about help. I didn't. If I care, I probably found, but I didn't care about any help. I was didn't care. I didn't thought it's gonna change anything for me, so I didn't care about help. I never asked for help, and I didn't care about any. I just used drugs. That it was I love to do, and this is what I'm gonna do, despite the consequences. So I was really dangerous. At that point, I was really dangerous for the public society, and fairly I was behind bars because I was dangerous. If you leave me alone, I'm gonna do it again.
Because you need your drugs.
Yes,
right?
yes, yes. And what happened now? From this prison sentence, I go out accidentally. Believe it or not.
Oh.
And here we become a little bit to the higher power.
Wow.
Yeah, accidentally, completely. Because when you go in for this kind of damage, like I say, you stay 18 months before the court.
Wow.
And when the court happens, they give you between 3 and 9 years. You don't go away with less than 3 years. What happened is, before the 18 months come, in a year, they have to take you in front of the judges to decide, the judges, if they continue keep you until the 18 months or release you in home with tag or whatever. And it was not tags back then, but with other things. Check-ins. Until the court happened. 9 out of 10, you continue staying in prison, but typically it have that to happen. And it didn't happen. For some reason, they lost the paper. Something happened because my inmate, he was working in the offices, and it was a week left for that to happen, and no paper in prison. And he told me, he said, Pavlos, there's not any paper. I said, what do you mean? And he explained to me. He said, if no paper come, you're free to go.
Wow.
So I called a lawyer, a friend of mine, from my neighbor, and he told me the same. He said, don't say nothing to anybody. If this paper it doesn't come, I come there to pick you up.
Jeez.
He did.
Wow.
He did. He picked me up. We go out, and I go out, and very soon I overdose somewhere.
Oh, shit.
I did overdose constantly because I was consuming a lot of heroin and a lot of drinks and pills and whatever I can take my hands. My
That's
mother,
dangerous, isn't it?
It is, but I didn't care. Who cares? I wanted to die. I didn't really care. Sometimes I wake up and
disappointed.
I was disappointed. Wow. And my mother was always putting me cigarettes and money in my bedside to don't steal or to don't to have me there at least.
You have something.
But as soon as I take it, I give it to the dealer. I didn't use it. I just give it to have my first drugs. And I was like a parasite for my family. My father, he didn't want to see me. My brother, they didn't want me in the house. And look now what happened, Marcos, and how the higher power works. So in this state, they was waiting for me to die, to be honest with you, because like I told you, all my friends, they was dead. I was in this condition. I was very thin. I was using a lot of drugs, a lot of drink. I didn't eat. And they was waiting for me to die at some point. And my dad, it happened to be working for one man in Greece, very important and very rich. My father is very honest, a good man, and he used to work for rich people in their houses as a chef, a butler, and things like that.
Yeah.
So he go to this man at the end because this man is very important and he's very, very rich. He's a billionaire.
Wow.
But he never speak about me because he was feeling ashamed. I'm not going to speak about my son drug addict and prison. But at the end, because he see I'm going to die, so he was going as well to retire. So he didn't care about to lose his job anymore. So he confessed to him and he say, I have my son. And so this man, it happened to be a good man, very good man. And he come in my house personally.
Wow.
Yeah. And like me and you now.
Yeah.
And he said to me, listen, Pavlo, I know you know who I am. I'm your father boss and everything. Why you don't let us help you? Yeah, like you asked before. And this was the first time in my life somebody approached me like that and asked me if I want to help me, if I want help. And I was honest with him. I said, listen, sir, thank you for your offer, but me, I'm an alcoholic. I'm a drug addict. You may help me today, but tomorrow, I don't know. So I cannot guarantee you if you help me, I'll be okay.
That's honesty.
Yes.
That's very honest.
Yeah.
For a drug addict, that's honest.
Yeah. And he said to my dad the same. He said, Pavlos is an honest guy. He said, don't worry about it. We help him, yeah? So he started pursuing me. He said, let us help you. He started coming with me, go to see psychiatrists, some groups and stuff like that. And at the end, he put me in a very expensive detox hospitals. The best hospitals in Greece, I've been there.
Jeez.
It was private, with my own room, with the best medicines. But what happened is, we do the detox, suppose, because me in the hospital, I still abuse the drugs. Abuse the system.
No,
drug addict in the hospital with medicine.
They said, did we give you this? No, I haven't had that one yet.
Yes. And when I go out of there, overdosing again somewhere. And this goes for 2 years. Continuously. Going to the hospital, spending a lot of money, going out, going to places, geographical, to Greek islands. Supposed to stop using drugs and nothing happened. I tried to stop using heroin by drinking, for example.
Yeah,
I did not have a... Yeah. Anyway, what happened is, one morning, I wake up in this posh hospital that I was there for 6 times in the last 2 years of my life. Yeah.
Wow.
And this morning, it was 1998, by the way, 10 February.
Oh, wow.
It's 2 days.
Yeah.
It was 1998. 10 February. And I wake up this morning. And I don't know, Marcus, I don't know how to put it. I felt sick and tired of being sick and tired. I had enough.
The cycle repeating.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly that. The cycle repeating, again in the hospital, again with pajamas and pills and nurses and shame in my family. What kind of man I am? I cannot take care of myself. I'm always in the hospital. So always I have my mother coming here, bring me foods. My father feeling shame for me. This man, he pay his money and I'm always here and nothing happened. And I thought this morning that the best way out of this is to jump from the window and to suicide. This it was exactly the...
So this was a low...
This it was the state. I was 29-year-old man, and this is exactly the state lead me, my alcoholism and my addiction from 13-year-old, or what that describes so far, until 29. And I make the decision this morning to do it.
Yeah.
You know, it was the only way out. I thought it's not worth it to live anymore like that. So it's more...
less painful to just jump.
Not painful. It was painful to make a decision to jump, but it's not about that. It was more shameful to live.
Yeah.
And it was more, I found it more dignity to die. To die, at least I think it was the last thing to do with dignity. Because to continue living like that, I had no dignity. You see, it was they called spiritually bankruptcy. So I lost my dignity. I lost my worthwhile feeling of living.
Can't look in the mirror. Yeah, all of that.
I didn't want to live anymore.
Yeah.
I didn't want to live anymore. And at the same time, I realized, and this was my step one there, and I knew that the reason I am in this state is because I cannot stop drinking and using drugs. And this morning I make the realization that to use drugs and drink doesn't work anymore. And then is when I wanted to die. Because the only thing in my life helped me so far to cope, it was drink and drugs.
Yeah.
And I make the realization that this is over. The game is over.
Yeah.
It's like I'm saying, you know, the game is over. So I really wanted to die. I really thought the only way out of this, I knew I cannot use anymore. And for first time in my life, the same night, I pray to a God that I don't believe and I never believe that exists. And I thought to myself, God, please, if you exist, I don't want to be crazy anymore. You know, just do something. You know, I don't want to be like that anymore. I really don't. Yeah. And you know what, Marcus? The next day, I didn't use this day. I didn't take my medicine. This is me, yeah. I don't recommend to anybody, but this is what happened to me. I decided to don't use.
You just
I stay with the feeling I jump from the window. And the next day, I had this moment of clarity, like they say. And I thought to myself, and I really believe that then, and I believe that now 1 million times. And that's my message. And I thought to myself, there's no way, if exists God, no way this God want me dead and humiliated in the process and be in prison and using drugs and causing all that damage to me and to everybody else and die at the end. Don't believe that. I don't believe that exists. So I do believe that from this day until today, this God is with my side. And you know something, Marcus? I have a good friend in the fellowship that he always used to say to me, all of us, he say in NA, AA, whatever, at some point in our life, God come, touch us from the shoulder and say, listen, mate, from today you're working for me.
Yeah.
And I really do believe that. Let me tell you why. Because this day I developed this feeling, yeah. I decided to don't use again this day, and I'm like 2 days now. And the third day, instead of, you know, screaming for pills and things like that, I start being helpful to the other patients.
Wow.
Giving them the food or helping the nurses. And I start for the 10 days there, about 10 days, stay clean and be also helpful there.
Be of service.
In the hospital.
Wow.
So the people of the hospital, they make a call to the rich man that he was paid for my hospital, and because I was very surprised, and they say to him, what happened here, Pavlos? You don't use in 10 days.
Yeah, he's helping us.
Yes. So this guy, he come in my room, he called me, and he said, Pablo, what happened? What are you doing? I say, I don't know, sir, but I'm clean. He said, are you clean? I say, yes. He say, don't go anywhere, I'm coming over there. And he come in the middle of the night, a man of his status, he come there, he sit down with me, and he say, now what we doing now? We didn't know what to do. Okay, you are clean 10 days, and now what? What? We didn't know, we haven't done it before. I haven't done it before in my life. And as we was talking, a Motorola, it was not mobiles at the time, it was 1998, a Motorola ring.
Yeah.
This guy, he answered the Motorola, and it was a girlfriend of him, very nice lady. I knew her these 2 years. She was coming with him to see him in the hospital. So she talked to me, and she said, Pablo, what are you doing? I say, I'm here again. Yeah. And she said to me, like I told you in the car, Marcus, she said to me, why you don't come to Alcoholics Anonymous? And I thought, it was the first time I listened to Alcoholics Anonymous.
Never heard that.
Never. And I thought to myself, Anonymous. I like it, the word Anonymous. I say, Anonymous, I am Anonymous. Because I told you, Anonymous is about equality. And it's a humble,
Greek word, isn't it?
It's a Greek word. And it's a humble word, Anonymous, yeah? And also I say alcoholic, I am an alcoholic because I drink all the time. And I said to her, what are you talking about? How am I going to go? Which alcohol? This lady, she was here in England in treatment for food addiction, I don't remember what. And she was in a very good treatment center here in England, a very expensive one and very good one. And she said to me, why you don't come in England? And I said to her, what are you talking about? How am I going to come in England? I don't have a penny in my pocket. Anyway, he speak with the guy, the boss of my dad. And the guy say, you want to go to England?
Wow.
And I thought to myself, if you want to jump from the window and it's alternative to go to England, go to England.
Yeah.
And I say, yeah, why not? I go to England. And he say, tomorrow morning we'll go to England. So just out of the blue, my father came in the hospital. My mother give me clothes, give me a cross. She say to me, this is a cross. Go there. And my dad come, and he say, listen, you are a man now. Just go wherever you want to go. Don't come back. We don't want you here. Yeah. I mean, don't come back in this state. Yeah,
we don't want problems.
And next day, it was the small airport of Greece.
Yeah.
And this guy, personally, he come. He bring his chauffeur. They took me to the airport. And this guy, he come there. And my mom, she ran and she jumped to his legs. And she was kissing his foot in front of everybody in the airport. Wow. Saying to him, thank you, sir, thank you, and all that. And I remember I saw this guy then, and I felt very admired about this guy, admiration. And
he's a good guy. I want to be like him.
Yeah, it was very kind what he do. It was very big, because he didn't give money. He come personally him. Yeah. And this is what it works for me. He touched me, and I saw my mom to his feet, and I thought to myself, this is a good man. I want to be like him. He's a real proper man. And he put me in a plane, British Airways. We land in Gatwick. And we take another chauffeur come, and he took us to the treatment center. Chauffeur, yeah. This guy, it was a millionaire. The treatment center, it was very expensive. It was rock stars there and stuff. And he took me there. And to be honest with you, when he took me there, I thought to myself, that's it. If you don't make it here, you're gonna die dead. You're dead. And I knew I had a good, strong step one. I knew I'm incapable of using. I didn't have even a slightly thought in my head to use, but I was desperate. I was
the gift of desperation.
I had the gift of desperation, but at that point I was suicidable, 100%. If it was not of these people, I probably had committed suicide. And I'm grateful to this guy that he bring me there. Grateful to my parents and to all the people in the hospital and to all the treatment center people that basically. What happened to me there is they told me two important things that I didn't know. First, that I'm an alcoholic and it's not my fault. This was big for me. And second, that I'm not responsible for my alcoholism, but I'm responsible for my recovery.
Wow.
Yeah?
That's deep.
So they give me a worthwhile feeling. So they say to me, okay, you are an alcoholic, but do something about it. Yeah? What can I do? They give me the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous. They give me the basic text of Narcotics Anonymous. And they say to me, you go to meetings, you share your experience, strength, and hope. You feedback, you get back feedback, you get identification, you get a service.
And you get a feeling of belonging.
Yes, you get a service, you help others, you get a sponsor, and you continue working these 12 steps of program of recovery, and good luck to you. You suffer from something that is not cure. You're always going to be an alcoholic, you're always going to be an addict, but it's recovery, and you can live your life without need of use drugs or drink, normal. And they give me hope.
Yeah.
They give me a glimpse of hope in my most desperate moment of my life, when I wanted to suicide. And it's wonderful what happened in 12-step programs and these places, because people go there broken, and they give them a life. You know, it's like somebody coming and give you a life. And they give me this glimpse, even with my fear, even with my all sadness, even with all that I was going through. I get a really, really good hope from there that maybe I can do it as well.
Maybe I can do this, you think?
Maybe, yes.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I like that.
and I go out of there after 6 months. I stay 3 months in a primary house, and after I stay in the halfway house another 6 months. I had a great foundation, good help and support. And I go out of there. And I come down here in Brighton. I like Brighton because of the sea. Remind me of Greece. And I go to Cornerstone. It was a meeting, AA. And I get a service there, coffee maker. For first 3 years, I was doing the coffees, and I learn English because the people come to make them a coffee. I have to speak with them. I do meetings every day. I get sponsor. And in this, it was 99 when I come here. In 2001, I get married.
Wow.
I met my wife here in Brighton.
Yeah.
She's not an addict. She's a very nice girl. I fell in love with her. I think she liked me because she saw a clean man, 3 years clean, you know, and going to meetings, and she liked this way of life. Probably, I speak to her about me, not everything in one day, like her, but slowly I told her what I'm doing. I said to her, listen, I'm a risk.
So you were honest with her?
Yes, I'm an alcoholic, I'm a drug addict in recovery, but I found this program, and I work for myself, and slowly I develop a relationship, and we get married. I get married in Mexico.
Wow. So she's Mexican, yeah?
She's Mexican. Yeah. I get married in Mexico. The rich guy, he became my best man.
Wow.
Yeah, I asked him, and he say, yeah, of course. He say, I come, and he come one day, he became my best man. So we do the wedding in Mexico. Continue go to meetings. We live here in a place in England, and we're still together.
How was it with her family when you wanted to convince them what a good guy you are?
I didn't want to convince them, but I wanted to be honest with them.
Okay.
And the truth is that the father of my wife was a very important man. It was a policeman.
Yeah.
And high-class policeman as well. And I remember when we go there to do it traditionally before the wedding to introduce myself. I've been before as a boyfriend, but this time I go to ask her, and I say to my wife, tell him exactly what I'm, what I'm gonna tell you, because he was speaking Spanish. I didn't speak Spanish, so I told him the truth. I say, listen, sir, I have these problems in my life. I was ex-convict, alcoholic, drug addict, but
wow,
but
that took some balls.
Yes, but I am in recovery, and I love your daughter, and I want to marry her. And he say he was a good man, very good man, and the family of my wife, all the good mind people, and they saw what they saw at the time, and they didn't care. And they say to me, my daughter is the first one bring her in the house. So if she, I trust her 100%. So if she bring you, that's mean you're good.
Wow.
And we do the wedding, and we're still together with my wife. We're very good friends with her sister as well, and all the brothers of her. And in 2004, it happened the most beautiful thing in my life. My daughter born.
My daughter was born in 2004.
Yeah?
So, yeah.
Well done, Marius.
Yeah.
So it was the most the most beautiful thing in my life, 2004. And all that is down to AA, NA, all that people every day that helped me one day at a time in recovery, going work, go to meeting, go home. And starting feeling alive and starting feeling happy. And have my daughter in 2008, have my son.
Yeah. Wow.
So
you have one of each.
One of each.
Jeez.
And Continue no drinking. Continue, don't pick up the first drink or the first drink.
It's quite a remarkable book, isn't it?
It
The
is.
Alcoholics Anonymous
It
book.
is, yes.
Because it's used by not just people think, oh, it's about alcohol.
No, it's not. It's
But
about
people, there's over 100 different fellowships that use that.
yeah, and my son born in 2008. Another wonderful thing.
Yeah.
Who gonna tell me that I'm gonna be father of two?
Yeah, amazing.
And alive, and living in England, and working, and not being in prison, and not being in the streets. Of course, all that as well, big part of all that is my wife, because she's a lovely woman and very good woman. I think it was God sent for me because I asked for that, to be honest with you. I remember I was going to meetings and I say to myself, what do you need? What do you need? You're going to use drugs again. I thought to myself, I always liked the family. I always, I don't know, maybe it's because I'm Greek
roots.
Important. Probably. Yeah, I always like it to be a decent man. That I couldn't manage to do it because I was an alcoholic. Yeah. But my dream it was to be a decent man and taking care of my girlfriend. Respected.
For the right reasons.
Yes, exactly. Having kids and be useful in the society. Always wanted that. So I thought to myself, family is gonna bond me. It's gonna give me something like a commitment.
Yeah.
So anyway, God sent me my wife in my way, and we fell in love. We get married, and I love that. I love to go to work, go home, grow up my kids, have my wife there, have my friends in the meetings. Try to do the good thing. Sometimes happens, sometimes doesn't, but try to do it anyway. And my life started be feeling worthwhile.
Living life.
Yeah, living life. Yeah. I really live life because I've been 8 times in Mexico. I've been in many cities in Europe, travel, and stuff like that, football games, all that, an experience like the birth of my kids and all that, amazing experience. And, and all that. But addiction, come back to addiction, is there. It's not that stop drugs and everything is beautiful. No, that's why I need to go to my meetings, and that's why I need to do service, and I need to be involved with people. That they are recovering.
To fill that hole.
Yes, to fill that hole
that was filled by.
Yes, and also get helped. Get help because I suffer from an illness that you forgot you got it. So it's very easy if you stop associate around people with recovery. Yeah. To isolate yourself and your head sentence in the mind. Normal. Yeah, you think you're normal. You think you're okay. And all that. And slowly, it can happen. I have seen it happen. They say if you don't go to meetings, you don't see what happened to the people that don't go to the meetings. Yeah. so you have to keep going. So you learn what happened to the ones that don't go. You see it with your eyes. So I always keep going to meetings. Always I do that.
And do you? You don't mind any meeting's a good meeting, AACA, NA.
In my case, I love the spirit of the meeting, and the reason of the meeting, and identifying all of them because I'm an addict, and I can be addicted to anything, to sex, to food, to drugs, behaviors, everything. So any meeting. I give you an example. One friend of mine one day, because he knew I'm in recovery, he said to me, he called me after years. He never called me before, and he said to me, Pavlo, I have a problem. I say, what problem you have? He say, I'm a betting. I'm a gambler addict, gambler. I've never been in a gambling meeting in my life. But he called me because he knew I'm around recovery, and he asked me if he can find any help. So I said to him, yeah, don't worry, we'll go somewhere. And I called some people, I found where the Gasolina Anonymous is, and I go there to this meeting. First time in my life, I've never been before. I identify a lot. Even if I never gamble in my life, it doesn't matter. I'm an addict, so I identify.
You understand?
I understand, and
Compulsion.
I was very good for them as well. They found me because when I go there, I was already 10, 15 years clean, and I had experience of that, and they found me useful. So I really do appreciate all. I believe all the meetings and all the fellowships is God given. It's down to you to see. This is what I've been told in treatment as well. I say, okay, excuse me. I'm an alcoholic, so I go to AA, but I'm also drug addict, or I go to NA. So my counselor say to me, you go, it's your recovery, wherever you feel comfortable. Yeah? If you go to AA, you feel good, go. if you go to any, the only requirement for membership to any meeting is a desire to stop using.
That's wonderful.
Exactly.
So everyone's in.
So you're not excluded from anywhere.
Yeah.
Nobody gonna tell you, don't come here because you use drink or you use heroin. It doesn't matter. If you have the desire to stop using, you're welcome to any meeting you think it's applied to you. So like I told you, Marcos, me, the addiction manifest. Okay, I may don't use drugs, but I was smoking a lot. I was smoking 4 packets of cigarettes a day. Thanks God I stopped that. I'm now 14 years without cigarette.
You used to like your food?
Food.
Yeah.
I like my food, but I become eating addictively. I become very deep into that, and I become 150 kilos. So thanks God again, because it's a long story. I had some liver disease, and they thought I'm very sick and blah blah. And it was one lady in the hospital that her husband, it was in AA like me, and she knew me that I go to AA, and she suggested to me to go to Food Addict Anonymous.
Wow.
So I thought to myself, food addict, I'm an addict anyway. Let's go there.
Yeah.
And I go there. I lost 30 kilos.
I remember you just.
Yeah. I keep it. I'm many years
but
now.
But the sugar there is a relapse, right?
Is a relapse. Yeah. These people, they don't use sugar and wheat.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to do that religiously. I'm not very good in that, but I'm quite good. So I try to keep
sensible.
Yes, and I get a lot of help and a lot of love there as well. So I have an understanding now, of what's going on with me, what's wrong with me, with all these years be around. I'm now in 2 days, I'll be 26 years without 26.
Wow.
Yeah, 26 years without.
That's longer than I've been alive.
Yeah. 26 years without a drink or a drug. 14 years without smoking a cigarette. And the last 5 years, behaving in my food, try to control that as well. Oh, I'm never going to do anything of that. I'll be dead now, to be honest with you. I'll be dead from 1998 if I didn't found the 12-step fellowship, yeah? And, the most wonderful thing happened as well in recovery for me is when my mother died from cancer 7 years ago. I was able to be there for her because I'm not using drugs anymore and I'm in recovery, and I was able to go there, stand by her, sleep with her in the last moments of her life, help her out. And she did say to me before she died that, Pavlo, you are the best son in the world. This is what amazing to listen that from your mom, that I caused so much damage. So amends happen. I'm really a strong believer of that. I don't really particular to go to do any amends. The world is better without me using drugs on it, that's for sure. And at the same time, I believe by being in a 12-step program and 12-step fellowship, you become a better person.
Yeah.
And it's a way of life, and you become helpful to people. Another good thing happened. A Greek friend of mine that he live in Wales, and an English friend of mine that he live in Greece, and he like Greeks. When it was the coronavirus, they say to me, they convinced me to start a CA meeting in Greece. Wow. Because in Greece we don't have CA. We have Narcotics Anonymous. They started in 1993, and we have Alcoholics Anonymous, but we didn't have CA. Yeah. So you see, because of my experience here in England, and be many years in England, and be in CA meetings, I was able to say yes to that. So we start the meeting 4 years ago.
On a Tuesday.
Yeah, we start this one. And today, as we speak, we have a web page, we have Zoom meetings every day, daily, with 20, 30 attendance daily. Wow. So a lot of people get help about that. Because of my smoking, a guy as well that I introduced him to the English Nicotine Anonymous meeting. Nicotine Anonymous is in England here, a big society about that. They're going to do the first convention as well. Jeez. And because of that, this friend, he suggests to start a Nicotine Anonymous in Greece as well. Jeez. So this is how it works. So we start Nicotine Anonymous in Greece, and we have as well meeting in Greece now because of Nicotine Anonymous. And 2 weeks ago, because at the moment I face one problem in my family. I think my son, he's a food addict or something like that. I'm not sure. But anyway, I took him to one of my meetings to make sure, and he liked it.
Oh wow!
And when I was me and my son in the meeting, I felt the presence of God.
Wow.
Yeah, I felt that, look, these people that they make this meeting, they are able to help me today and my son. So that's beautiful,
It's a
you know.
wonderful
And if I can help somebody else with what we do now, come on, that's beautiful.
What message would you give to someone maybe who was struggling, didn't know what to do, they felt desperate, you know, like you felt? What kind of advice? You've given a lot of good advice.
I'm gonna tell you what it happened to me and what I felt. You know, that don't worry. You know, this God, like I say, of my understanding, is always there with me. The only I had is to believe, to come to believe. You know, to come to believe that just give up, just surrender. You know what I mean, and let other people help you. And it's a way out of that. You know, today I'm grateful. I'm living my life all these years, you know, without the need. I don't want. It's not that I don't have to drink today. I don't want one.
Don't need it,
I don't want to drink.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to drink.
So someone out there might be so desperate, you know, living in hell and just feel like there's no hope, want to give up. But you've
come to one of our meetings. Come to found a power greater than ourselves. You know, I thought I was the only person in the world feeling the way I felt. And I was, like you say, desperate, and I wanted to suicide. Until I entered these places, you know, Narcotics Anonymous, Alcoholics Anonymous, and I allowed myself to listen and to identify. For me, it's very important. You know, I'm just going to say to this person today, you are not alone. You are not alone. I thought I was alone.
Do you think people would have to go to treatment to get recovery? Because you went through a lovely experience.
Not necessarily.
So
It happened. Everybody's different. Yeah. But if they have the chance to go to a 12-step treatment center, yes, why not? Any help. The secret is to allow others to help them. My biggest obstacle in my recovery, it was that I didn't allow anybody. I thought I was in denial first, and after, even when I knew I didn't trust anybody. But like I say, God brought me there to these places, and I found the place I belong.
You just have to be open to it.
Yes, I found people that first time in my life identify. And I thought to myself, wait a minute, these people here is not psychiatrists, it's not my family, it's not doctors, it's not police. It's people like me.
What do you think about when people say, oh, it's a God cult and negative things? But, you know...
It's normal for an addict in particular to listen the word God. I'm talking about my addiction, and to say, oh, no.
So, because, I don't need that.
Yeah, because I was angry with God. But when we say God in these fellowships, we don't mean a religious thing.
No.
It's a spiritual program, not a religious program. It's a big difference, yes. Religion believe in one particular God. In the fellowship, everybody can choose the higher power, this is how they call it, or you want to call it God, or you want to call it, of his understanding, whatever he thinks.
Whatever he wants, or he or she feels comfortable.
Yeah. It's not a religious thing. Religious thing, you believe in one particular God. Don't believe in any particular God. You can choose your own higher power, and it's respected from everybody, and you know. And you know something, I'll tell you something else that I know some people in my fellowship, they like that. They say that the religious people, they believe in God because they are afraid to go to hell. The addicts in recovery, they believe in God because they've been there. You know what I mean? So it's a big difference there. Yeah. And yes, it's not a religious program. It's a spiritual program. Yeah, it's you know, I didn't believe in God, and if you ask me today, do you believe in God? I'll tell you something. I do believe that whatever happened to me so far, and how is my life today, is not my own doing. Definitely, you know, I read somewhere lately, you know, I heard somewhere that whatever happened in our lives is combination of things happening in our lives. We can meet bad people in our lives, or we can meet kind people in our lives and loving people in our lives. I believe this is good. For example, this man that he helped me and he took me, he put me, this is good. The people in the ambulance, when I was falling in the floors and I was humiliating myself, and the people that work in the hospitals, they put me in the ambulance and they helped me, this is good. When I cut my hand and they put me in the hospital and the doctors put together the job to make my hand okay, this is good. When I go to meeting, when I go to meeting and like I say, you know, everybody's there to help me and my son, and this is good, yeah? So it's not a particular religion, it's a spiritual thing. And I believe if they treat me nicely and kindly, and I am the person I am today, I own to give that back.
Yeah.
To treat somebody else kindly and nicely and with love. So I develop his personality. Because I don't believe people is bad. I don't believe anybody is bad.
People are basically good, right?
Yes. I really do
I'm a
believe
Buddhist,
that.
so I believe that,
Depends, you know, depends how you grow up and how you accept love, how you receive love. Yeah. All these people I believe in drugs, you know. I was not able to appreciate love. That's why I was using drugs. But today I have a lot of love in my life. I have love for myself, love from others, and I don't need drugs. You know, what I have today is more powerful than drugs.
Wow.
You see what I mean? It is.
It is.
And I don't want to give that away. Yeah, in any way.
And how do you feel with your youngsters living in Brighton? You know, it's full of drugs. Do you worry about your two? I mean, I've got two teenagers, and I just think, wow, you know, it's scary. The stuff, you know, they're exposed to.
I do, of course I do. I do worry. You know, I believe, you know, the best thing for the teenagers is you know, the education and the sports. The sports is very important, you know, the athleticism and all that, you know, to avoid. But as well, you know, like it's the society now, it's a lot of information around drug addiction, it's a lot of help around, and everything for me starts from the family. I want to say to the parents of the kids, to be for their kids, to remember who they needed them when they was in their age, and to be for their kids this person. You see what I mean?
That's good. Yeah.
Because I believe if the kids are friends, if you have your kids as friends, you're gonna be more able to help them and protect them. Yeah, they're gonna find their own way anyway. So it's better to have you as a friend.
Yeah.
Than, you see what I mean? If I was friend with my father and my mother, I'm not gonna need to find other friends to do not things. You see what I mean? I'll be friends with them.
Some people would say the complete opposite. The old-fashioned people say you shouldn't be friends with the children. They should respect you, be scared of you. But then they just go off and do it in the park.
Yes.
You know?
I don't think the kids, they have to scare of you. No. I don't think so.
That's the
I was scared of my father. Without being a good bad man, my father, but I was scared of him. So I'm never gonna tell him anything. You know what I mean? But I believe they have to be friends with their kids. You know, to don't lose them from their sight. You know what I mean? To have them there, because whatever is the things to do, the kids are gonna do it anyway. So it's better to be there and to be, you know, to be honest, to have them honest with you, you know, in a light and not secretly.
Yeah, that's the key.
Yes, for me, honesty. This is the danger, you know, the dishonesty, the secrecy, and stuff like that. And I feel today, I feel for all the people I see in the streets, you know, drug addicts and. You know, all of that, because like I told you, I don't believe people is bad. This depends, you know, what happened in their lives. But, you know, that's why I continue to go to my meetings, because, you know, if I'm there, and it's a program, the program we have is program of attraction, no promotion.
Explain that.
We cannot bring the alcoholic in the meeting.
You can't drag them in to get help.
No, but we can pass the message.
Yeah, like we're doing now.
Exactly. So it's a way of life. If somebody see you, it's like I told you, my wife see me and married me because he see something on me and she married me. It's the same in recovery. If I have my recovery and I do the right thing, the one he really wanted, he gonna see me, he gonna follow.
He's gonna ask you, hey,
yes,
I want what you have.
Yes.
How did you get it?
Exactly. Exactly. And this is attraction, you know, it's not promotion. We cannot go to the pub and say, hey guys, it's bad that you drink, come out to Alcoholics Anonymous.
You get punched.
They're gonna say to you, okay, mate,
Yeah.
bye, goodbye.
Yeah.
You know,
Oscar Pope.
but
Yeah.
if somebody of them is ready
Mm.
and he come in our room, we'll be there for them
Mm.
and open the door for them and make them cup of tea and sit down with them and spend time with them like they spend time with me and give us free because I didn't pay a penny for 26 years to anybody. I just, you know, go to meetings and I have a daily recovery.
Yeah, they say
of a strong
24
addiction.
hours, right?
24 hours, yeah. That's the world record of clean time is 24 hours.
So that's gratitude 24, right?
Yeah. If you can do it for 24 hours, you can do it 24 hours one day at a time, you know?
Yeah. That's impressive. And a lot of sobriety you have. I didn't realize it's been that many years. So I think you know a little bit about it, how to run a good, healthy lifestyle and happy, you know.
The only we have, Marcus, is a daily retrieve. Yeah, I am as clean today as I allowed myself spiritually to be. So if I take care of my spiritual condition, that's why I told you it's a spiritual program. I'm clean. Yeah. Because I can be abstinent from drugs and addictions, but not in a good spiritual
still
place.
doing bad things.
Yeah, and be unkind, be verbally abuse somebody or angry. That all the people are. Yeah. But the alcoholics and addicts is in a more on that. So if I allowed myself be not in a good spiritual place today, I'd be mad. You know, it's not cure, like I said to you before, but that's why I continue to go to my meetings and I try to pass a message and keep myself in a good spiritual condition. Yeah.
And then you can actually help someone if they need it.
Yeah. Because, like I told you, it's attraction, it's not promotion. The reason we do this interview here is for somebody listen to that and maybe he sees something in me that he won't, or maybe he identifies something in me and maybe we give hope today. Yeah. And you know why I do it? I listened one day the Jimmy K. Okay. Jimmy K is the founder of NA, of Narcotics Anonymous. He made Narcotics Anonymous in 1952. And I listened one tape one day of him in New York. He was doing one meeting, and he say, we are responsible for the people, the other addicts, because that is what we believe, and I believe that we are the only ones, addicts and alcoholics, that we can understand and help another alcoholic. And for that, we are responsible. It's our duty to be here. Wow. Yeah, it's not only if we want to, we have to. Yeah. Because I really do believe that. I get well because somebody else like me 26 years ago, it was there for me.
Who'd walked the same street.
Exactly.
And knows,
And from this I found the hope and the motivation to continue stay clean. Yeah. So I owe my life to these addicts and alcoholics that they was willing to share and they continue are willing to share their experience, strength and hope in a daily basis.
Wow.
You know?
Well, what a great story, man. And I appreciate you coming in, sharing your message. I think it's traditional. We finish with a little hug.
Yes, man.
To you.
Okay.
Right. Thank you, Pavlos.
Thank you.
Nice one. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Cheers, man. Nice
Thank you.
one. Thank you to the team as well.
Thank you, guys.